and welcome to week 2 video review session with our sweet little Georgie. So this week we are continuing with our foundation skills, really trying to work on that collar grab so that he loves being caught. He's still really he's just a gentle little soul, so he is very wary when things happen too quickly. You will see him downtown yesterday when we were out and about. He's very cautious about things. So we have to work really slowly with a dog like this and be gentle with him. So not a lot of fast movement, things like that, till he gets really comfortable with us. Yes, thank you. With his training treats, make sure that you guys are breaking these off into like literally the tiniest little pieces. Georgie, yes, good boy. So that we, it also takes him a little bit of time to chew them. So Georgie, yes. So we want to make sure, Georgie, yes. So constantly working on that name game. Oh great, now we have a B here. That's not too distracting. Yikes. All right, so name game, then we're still working on our hand targeting touch. Yes. Georgie, yes. Boogie, touch. Yes. These are the things that are really going to help you down the line with touch. His responsiveness. So just anytime, touch. You can sprinkle these throughout the day, and you're doing some hand targets and some Georgie, yes, and some name games. It's going to be really helpful. And then doing a little bit of that, collar grab. I don't want to be, again, too aggressive with it. I just want to make sure that he understands, like having me reach out to touch his collar is a really good thing. So really just continuing to practice those foundation skills and getting him comfortable with the process of training, waiting for times where he's really hungry is going to help, because his, again, a dog that's a little more, a little softer and a little more cautious, anytime we elevate the stress level, a lot of times they just don't want to participate. So we have, I hear the dog squeaking, that squeaky toy up there. That's distracting. Georgie, yes, good job. Very nice, good one. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Continue practicing the hand targeting, the name game, and the collar grab. All right, so I'm just going to talk a little bit while Melissa's working with Beanie. I'm going to talk a little bit about a dog that is timid, kind of with certain things. It's a little bit less outgoing. It's a really fine line between getting the dog out and socializing them and not overwhelming them. We call that keeping the dog under threshold. So what does that mean? Under threshold sort of means where can they be in a thinking mind where their reactivity doesn't take over. And so if, say, she got noticeably nervous about something, what we would want to do is we'd want to do something to get her to be a bit more active with her mind. So what Melissa's doing right now is not just walking her around, and then not walking her up to people and making her interact, but getting her in situations around things, but maybe doing hand targeting, practicing it down, doing some reward zone walking. So things that take her brain off of situations that might make her uncomfortable. So let's say somebody came up to try to pet her and she was noticeably uncomfortable. I would just say, we're in training, and take a few steps back, say she's a little uncomfortable right now, so we're just going to keep her in a place where she's relaxed and confident. So again, it's always just a little bit of a tricky situation where people think just getting the dog out and making them interact with people is the appropriate way to socialize, and sometimes that's just too overwhelming for a dog. So like if you brought her to a soccer game and there were a million people coming up and trying to pet her and talk to her, that might not actually be in our best interest. So remembering to get her out, but keeping her, again, the word we use is sub-threshold, and keep her in a working mind. Super important. You'll see a lot of training that we do when we're out and about where we're actively working on leash skills or hand targeting or practicing things. But one of the points that I really want to make is that equally important for a puppy is just to be able to explore its world. They are figuring out so many things. I mean, you can see Beanie right now just sort of watching. Here comes another dog. This would be a point where if I felt like there was something, we just passed a giant garbage truck that was so loud. That might be a time where I would like break out a treat or tell her what a good girl she's doing, or tell her what a good girl she is. Being very careful to watch your tone of voice when things look a little uncomfortable to a puppy. We want to try to not use necessarily consoling or petting to when they look nervous, but more just kind of reassuring, like, hey, this is cool. Oh, like here comes super loud truck. Oh, good. Not even any kind of reaction to that. But if the dog did have a negative reaction, I would maybe pair some treats with it. I would tell them that they were so brave. I would use a very happy tone of voice. Once you fall into the habit of changing the way that you talk to the puppy, waiting until the truck goes by. If you get in the habit when your puppy looks uncomfortable about all of a sudden switching to, oh, you're fine, stroking the dog, talking to them in like a really consoling voice, they immediately know something's up, something's weird, something's different. So we want to make them comfortable and think, this is all cool, this is so happy. So I make sure that I'm using a tone of voice that relays when things are different, that it's okay. And maybe do a treat toss. You could just distract the dog with something like that. Those are all really good strategies for, again, when we say socializing, we don't always mean socializing with another dog or socializing, let's walk down here again, or necessarily socializing with humans. We're just meaning getting that dog out and having a chance to really explore their world. In a non-training situation, I would only spend maybe, 20 or 30 seconds at a time working on our reward zone with a puppy, working on our hand targeting, things like that. And then I would be letting them do this, just figuring stuff out. All things to keep in mind as you are out and about. Ooh, what was that? What was that? All right, so along these same lines, this is the first time we've had George out and about, and he is really uncertain about everything that's going on right now. So we're not even gonna really go anywhere. We're just gonna let him, we're sitting here on this bench. We're not really near people. We're not walking him by any dogs, but we're just gonna, anytime we can do like let's say if you try a name game, will he look at you? Okay, so here comes another doggy, so I think he's really distracted by that. Oh, so you're kind of my friend. All right, so here's another good point. Right now, the concern level is high enough that Georgie doesn't even really want to take food. So that's always a indication to me that the dog is feeling a little overwhelmed. There's not a lot of other physical stressors happening. I would look for things like, is the dog yawning a lot? Are they licking their lips? Are they cowering? He's not doing any of those things, so I don't think this is having a negative impact per se on his... Oh, there was a little yawn. That's a stressor, or that's a sign of a little high stress for a dog. So we're just kind of letting him investigate, and anytime he kind of checks in with us, we'll see if he wants to take a treat. Things you can do in this scenario is just, even if the dog really won't look at you, just do some go find it's. Give them something, again, just mentally to do, where being out and about is kind of fun and rewarding. He's sort of half interested, but this is all really good for him. Just learn to learn to exist in the world, and nothing bad happens. For a dog who has a sibling, a lot of times they're used to being with their sibling, which can be really comforting for them, but then all of a sudden being on your own is a little strange. So that could also be some of what's going on right now.